Good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday, December 4th. Dr. Vuong here, Best Effin' Dad, with your quick COVID update. I want to quickly explain why Omicron looks like it has milder symptoms, because I don't want these naysayers and anti-vaxxers and you know the crazies. I don't want them to take it and twist this information, okay? But real quickly, the numbers are bad. You know, this week's numbers, 130,000, 138,000 cases, like 2 days in a row. Yesterday, Friday, almost 150,000 cases in the United States alone. Saturday, Sunday, you know, they stop reporting numbers, so it gets off. But I think that's a legitimate number, 150,000 cases. I think the average is really up. And as you know, we're really hot in kind of Michigan, New Hampshire, Vermont area, New York area. And I've been very closely watching New York City and Chicago. And it's like that movie, you know, like Aliens, like the beeping red dots in the middle and all of the other aliens are coming around it. That's what I feel like is happening with Chicago and New York City. Like all the aliens are coming around, surrounding New York City. And both their numbers, New York City is up to 1,700 cases a day, and so is Chicago. So everybody stay safe there. And yes, as I've been saying, the South is rising up again. So Florida numbers are about to go up. Texas numbers are going up. Georgia, you got some hot spots. Georgia, Florida line, boy, it's going to come down through Tennessee, South Carolina, and it's just going to fall right into Georgia and Florida again. And what's happening right now in the current surge, that's Delta. What will happen in Georgia and the South will be Omicron, because the South has already gone through their Delta surge. They're going to get hit with Omicron. Now, why does it look like Omicron has milder symptoms? Well, first of all, in about a week's time, Omicron has gone from South Africa to 40 countries, all right? 40 countries. It's here in the United States. I think it's in, last number I saw was 9 states, but I know it's going to be more than 9 states. Nebraska, Hawaii, I mean, it's pretty much everywhere, right? So, as I said in the previous video, we need to roll back these, we're killing South Africa's economy. We're punishing them for actually doing the right thing, which is reporting this variant, which is, so we need to roll back those travel restrictions so they can get supplies and stuff to South Africa. All right. So why does it, you've probably seen reports and you've probably heard the treating doctors talk about, it seems to be milder symptoms. Well, think about it, guys. Why does Omicron look milder? First of all, I'm going to say, we do not know if Omicron is milder. We do not know if it's more virulent. In other words, we don't know if it makes you sicker. We have very good indications that it is more contagious. One suggestion is that it is definitely more contagious, but, let's just assume it is, because it's looking like it's more contagious. But, the naysayers will say, but it's milder symptoms. Well, let me explain why. It makes sense because the South African cases that are coming around, sorry, my allergy just kicked in, seems to be, at least initially, in a younger population. As I said, it could be a sampling era, a population dynamic, right? It's not just the disease. Remember, I've said this in previous videos. It's not just the virus, it's also the host. So if you have a virulent virus in a old, elderly, or immunocompromised person, you're going to have worse outcomes than a young, healthy person. So the data on the South African data seems to be a younger population. So that's a skewed bias. Now, also, how the heck did it get out of South Africa? Well, in order to fly, I wouldn't know. I haven't been on a plane in a couple of years. But most places require vaccinations. So you're seeing these reports of Omicron, but they're primarily in the vaccinated population. You're going to see a report about some party in Oslo, Norway, Christmas party, right? That might caused 60 people to have Omicron. Well, if you don't actually just read the headlines, but actually read the report, it was a Christmas party. Everybody had to be vaccinated, and everybody had to show a negative test, which is the right thing to do. And guess what? Somebody came back from South Africa, because that company has headquarters in South Africa, and that person brought Omicron, which that can happen. Okay. Now, of the people who have it so far, which I think is like 10 people, and they're expecting about 60 people to catch it, everyone has mild symptoms. Now, the anti-vaxxers will say, see, that's the point. Why should we get vaccinated if you can catch the virus and you can still spread it? Because it gives you mild symptoms. So maybe Omicron, and I think the answer is yes, is initially showing milder symptoms because it's in the vaccinated population. Because these are the people who are allowed to travel. Does that make sense? These are the people who are allowed to gather indoors and have parties in most places. So it's a sampling error. It's a selection bias. It's too early to say that it's milder disease. There's a good chance it might be, but I would bet that it's probably about the same as Delta, because Delta is very good. Delta has found a way to be more contagious than wild type, but not more virulent. So in the virus world, that's a good setting. So again, viruses don't want to become more virulent. Well, they're not alive, so they don't actually want anything. But by random selection, if a virus becomes too virulent and it kills its host, it doesn't get to repopulate. So by random selection, it wants to become more contagious, but not more virulent. It becomes endemic, right? That's the word. But we're not there yet. Now, so I think that the reason why it's milder symptoms is because it's a selection bias in the vaccinated population, which anti-vaxxers will say, see, why should I get vaccinated? Like, dude, Delta, let me remind you of the numbers. The unvaccinated person is 11 times more likely to be hospitalized with Delta, and 14 times more likely to die than the vaccinated person. I'll say it again so no one miscommunicates me. The unvaccinated is 11 times more likely to be hospitalized, and the unvaccinated is 14 times more likely to die than the vaccinated. So I don't understand why this is so hard for people to get. It's not 0% if you're vaccinated. That's what 94% effective means. That's what with the Delta variant, maybe it's dropped down to 80%. That's why we had to get boosters. And just because you had an infection last year, we know your immunity is also waning, and probably waning at a faster clip than the vaccinated. Plus, you get a booster, you don't put yourself at risk for all of the possible complications that come with actually catching the virus. Remember, you don't get to hijack the term natural immunity. It's either post-infection immunity or post-vaccination immunity. I prefer post-vaccination immunity. And if you've already had post-infection immunity, I would get it boosted. I would do the best of both worlds. Good, you survived a COVID infection. It might have been a mild case. You might have gotten a very little viral load, in which case your antibody response might not be that great. You don't know because chances are you didn't actually get tested for antibody levels, which go away anyway. So let's not be stupid. Now, comment if you already know, and I know there will be people on this post who's already starting to spread misinformation about Omicron, moronic, you sound moronic, it's milder, see, it's much ado about nothing, yada yada. Dude, now imagine this scenario. You have a variant that by early reports, is probably going to be more contagious than Delta, which means we're going to have more cases, and the unvaccinated are 11 times more to be hospitalized, and you're having another surge. Dude, we're going to have a lot more people. Just do the percentage math-wise. There's still too many unvaccinated lungs out there for Omicron to hit, right? And it is going to overwhelm the hospital system again, right? To the point where you're going to see, again, rationing of care. The vaccinated people will probably be dealt with at home. You'll see, oh, I'll do another video on this, but we're not sure that the monoclonal antibody treatments, Regeneron, and the shit that, the stuff that's great science, the things that Trump got, right, that you didn't have access to this time last year, might not work against Omicron. We don't know yet. Why take the chance? I got a booster this week. I wasn't gonna get a booster, but I was just like, man, I might as well. And boy, it knocked me out for 2 days. Why? Because I had a good response to the vaccination. My body was primed. My immune system was primed. And so when it saw the spike protein in the booster shot, it was like, oh, this is the bad dude that we need to protect Doc against. All right. It was supposed to be quick, but it wasn't that quick. I'll be back again tomorrow because this shit's hot. Talk to you later. Bye.